All right, well, good morning, everyone. Get everything up here on the screen. There we go. I'm Jan Erickson from Stepping Aside, and welcome to Somewhat Daily Tarot and Rune for the 30th day of January 2020. Well, I think I want to start out with some pendulum here. I don't know if I did this on Monday or if I just told you, um, but lately I had been getting no impeachment ever, and then I don't know, maybe 3 weeks ago, a month ago, whatever it was, I started getting impeachment that the Senate would convict. Now, the last few days, I've been getting it. It's just been going around. Well, it switched back. It switched back, I don't know, a week or so ago to no conviction. And then the last few days, it's just been going around in circles. So I just wanted to see what we come up with. So is the Senate going to convict? It's still undetermined, isn't it? This is yes, this is no. Only it started to go no, and then it kind of went a little bit yes, but it's not got a strong swing to it in either direction. Mostly it was just kind of staying right here. So we still don't know. Oh, we'll ask one more. Are they going to allow witnesses? In other words, will John Bolton get to speak? Looks like John Bolton is going to speak. Where, though? Who knows? Will it be in front of the Senate, or will it, to where they can ask him questions, or will it just simply be at some microphone somewhere? We need to hear from him. So looks like at least, sorry about that. I'm moving my laptop. It looks like the pendulum says that that's going to happen, but it's still undetermined now, again, on impeachment. So I don't know. We'll see. I've been following the pendulum. The pendulum is never wrong. I've never had it be wrong. So I don't know. We'll just see. Let's see. Now, as far as astrology goes, if this is your first time here, we usually start with astrology for the day. This was done at 10 o'clock this morning. When the correspondences on the blog go up, now that'll be for noon, for magical correspondences and the current forecast there. That's really geared toward anybody working magic, but it's not that other folks can't glean something from it as well. There's quite a bit of current astrological information that you can look at. The top half of it is. The bottom half, though, is the correspondences for that particular day that I'm doing it. So, if you don't want to have to open up the grimoire, you can just go look at that and go, okay, what was the stones for today? What were the runes for today? What's the color? What's most people just know, but sometimes you forget, and it's just easier just to go and have a cheat sheet. So you can look upon it as that. It's a little cheat sheet. But anyway, that'll be up here in a little while. Again, the planets and stuff are still in the eastern hemisphere in the fourth quadrant. So motivation and, starting something new. Of course, we have a cosmic builder year, so that makes sense. A 22 year. We have a day of, it's a 3 energy today, so we're talking about catalytic energy, and it's a Thursday, so we're talking Jupiter energy, so catalytic expansive energy. You see how that works. It's easy to figure stuff out, really, without even knowing some of this, just knowing the day of the week. Ascendant is still in Aries, so again, motivation, initiating, ego-oriented, savior-oriented, maybe. Usually always has the answers to things, can always find solutions. Aries personalities can. Moon in the 12th house of Aries, so, you're going to be kind of, I don't know, maybe reflecting on the new opportunities you have coming, I don't know, but with the 12th house, you're going to be reflecting here, and it's more of an inward focus, so that's kind of interesting. You're going to feel that pull, I think, today of maybe I'll just take a moment to reflect on new opportunities in store or something like that. but the 12th house is going to affect you there. Square Jupiter, self-assertion and confident, but avoid anger and frustration. There's also a conjunct with the ascendant with Aries, who's also the ascendant, and so you've got emotions and fire, right? Water and fire together there, and so you can see water tends to quench fire. Fire doesn't know what to do with water, so anyway. Sun's in the 11th house of Aquarius. So innovative, extroverted activity, but you're going to network with friends, maybe in an unconventional way. Aquarius brings in that whole unconventional and eccentric and humanitarian kind of focus, other focus, basically. Let's see, Mercury, 11th house in Aquarius, unique ideas. So same thing there, inventive, rebelling against tradition, stuff like that. Let's see, Venus, 12th house Pisces, emotions might be in flux. Boundaries will definitely be challenging today. Mars, 9th house Sagittarius, still inspired leader, exploration oriented, adventurous. But there's also a square with Neptune. You might want to escape and take some quiet time to reflect on your path still. A lot of reflection today, a lot of inner work, I would say. Jupiter, 10th house Capricorn. Promotion could happen for you again. We've been seeing a lot of that lately. A lot of that has been leading toward maybe either a promotion within the company that you're in or maybe taking a new position somewhere else. But either way, the other thing we've been talking about, if it is going to be something within the same, place you're working, people don't know you in that position. And so they're going to have some time to get used to somebody that was a coworker and now maybe a supervisor. So just keep that in mind. Let's see, 10th house Capricorn, Saturn's in the 10th house in Capricorn, reassess career choice, and your choice may change. So again, that may be the impetus for expanding something career-wise with Jupiter in the 10th house in Capricorn. But with Capricorn, you're talking about the underlying focus of things and underlying structure of things, similar to Saturn. Saturn's effect, although Capricorn's got a little more impetus, I think, than that type of energy, has a little more, fixed focus. I'm going to get things done kind of thing. So there's movement, whereas with Saturn, you're more, kind of coming to rest and thinking about things and reassessing things. One last thing, Uranus, first house Taurus, restless, open to change in structure or routine. So that's going to reinforce Jupiter. Also going to reinforce Mars. So there could be a change in career here, change in focus. Semi-square with Neptune, though, you might not discern well. You might, if there's a con at work, you might not see it. So, got to take time and really be reflecting on something like that and be absolutely sure of what's going on. So, in any event, let's go ahead and get started on the cards. And we're going to we did 5 yesterday. Can you believe that? I just needed more. I don't know. We'll take 3 and see what we have and see if we need a 4th or a 5th. I don't know. It was a cool reading, though. 11 energy day and a 22 energy year, a 1 energy month. So, it was kind of exciting, really, energy-wise. So, anyhow, let's go ahead and take our first 3 cards. And again, I'll take the 13th one for randomness sake, and let's get started. Well, the 6 of Swords. We haven't seen this in a little while. New direction, new journey, maybe. Change in thinking. The Senate could sure use that, couldn't it? 4, 5, 6, 7. As usual, my hands don't work in the morning. Queen of Cups. Lovely lady. Love her throne. Isn't that gorgeous? And I love that old type of chalice. I found my Solabusca Tarot deck, and one of these days I'm going to remember, and I'm going to compare they have similar, they illustrate cups in that older type of a deck. I think it's 13th or 14th century. I'm not sure. Could be older. At least the time that it's depicting. It's really unusable. I don't know what else to say. I bought it because I just thought it was cool. But anyway, it has the same type of cups, they use, and they call it something else. And it's some other name, and it escapes me. I don't remember what it is. I wrote it down though, but I don't know what I did with it. So always, right? Let's do the last card. But they're quite ornate. All of the symbols are ornate, and this is a very cool deck. I just really can't do anything with the majors. They're all figures in like Alexander the Great and people like this. Like, okay, what do I do with this? I don't even know. Here we have the Five of Pentacles. So we've got air element with swords. We've got the cups as the emotions or the water element, and we've got earth element or the practical side of self, security, career, all of that with pentacles. Earth element. So absent is fire. So I think what I'm going to do, well, I don't know. I don't know if I want to make the queen yeah, let's make the queen the focal point. Let's start with her. So again, we have the Queen of the Cups. We have, that's the water element and emotions. She's quite reflective. She's compassionate. She's empathic. Also has empathy. Two different things, by the way. When you're empathic doesn't mean you have any empathy. Doesn't mean you necessarily have empathy for others, because you're usually absorbing their emotions and you're aware and all of that. That's what being an empath is. It doesn't necessarily follow that you have empathy, although typically you do. But, sometimes you're so wrapped up in the emotion of it all. It's like, you really can't get there, right? You can't, switch and have feelings about it. You're too caught up. Just don't confuse the two. When someone says they're an empath, doesn't necessarily mean that they have a whole lot of empathy. They're probably worn out from it all. But she sits on the water's edge. Her robe, or rather her cape right there, almost looks pebbly, doesn't it? Like river rock or something. And it spills out onto the ground, doesn't it? So she's very connected to the water. She's very connected to her emotional presence. She's intuitive. You see cherubs above there. You see those, and they're down there on the side too. If you could see the other side, there would be another one. And she holds a beautiful ornate chalice in her hands. And she gazes at it in reflection. So basically, she's considering the emotional presence in her life of what she's doing and how she's feeling and all of that. And she's a woman in authority. So she has some considerations to make. And if she's a woman in authority, if she's the queen, she's likely the one who's truly guiding the kingdom, because the king is too busy in his own place, right? His own head. It's all about him, right? But the queen is the one that has to take command of everything and has to see the reality of the world, basically. The receptive side of self, if you will, versus the projective side of self. So contained within that is a certain amount of flow. It also allows for change to take place, for new thinking to take hold, for anything new to take hold. And so here you have the Six of Swords. We see a small family, likely, huddled against the snowy day there on the water. It's cold. Now, this could indicate a journey over water, but typically when you're talking the swords, you're talking the air element, you're talking intellect and thoughts. You could say that they're prepared for the future, that they've thought things out, that everything's in front of them. But there's a change in awareness. There's a change in thinking here. That's what this actually means. Emotions are involved. You see that the stillness, you see the stillness implied on the water there beyond them. The only ripples you see are from the staff in his hand. That's really the only presentation. Let me see. Yeah, it's going to be the only presentation of the fire element in this reading is the staff there. So the genesis of something new, there's the energy for that. In fact, we could put that card last. We could have really started here. We see a change in circumstances here. Compassion doesn't seem to be finding them, does it? We see 5 pentacles up there in the stained glass windows, suggesting a church, suggesting compassion on the other side of that wall, but either it's closed to them or they're so destitute and so bereft they can't see it. And again, same sort of theme, huddled against the wind, huddled against the cold, barefooted, on crutches. So the queen has to consider all of these things, right? And has to figure out a way around all of it. As she looks into her chalice, she's basically using it as a cauldron to scry the future. She understands that a change in circumstances has happened, and people's foundations have been threatened and affected in such a harsh and damaging way. And now it's time to have some change in thinking on this and to take a new approach, to take a new direction. If only to counter the harm that's being done. Because when help should be there and it's not. We're going to do another card. I think we need more information here. But the thing is, you know, the queen is the one that directs the king and says, no, we need to take care of the people now. You've fooled around long enough, and we can't do this anymore. You're out there, your soldiers are bothering everybody, and you're affecting their lives in ways that are so profound. You say you're going to do this and that, but you do the complete opposite. And now everybody is having a difficult time. And a new direction needs to happen. New decisions need to take place. A more compassionate view of things needs to take hold. If you do this the other way, you could say that the change in thinking brought on the destitution, but I don't really sense that. But we have the Hanged Man, the 12th card of the Major Arcana, alignment and source presence, which reinforces the queen, basically, and the compassion of the queen. It's also a 3 energy like today. So basically what we're looking at here, I think, is the queen's power of reflection and the effect that that has upon the choices that we make. You know, if we're just going to react, you know, and not reflect on what we're doing and what we're thinking about, you know, maybe we're just so caught up in the reaction that we can't really understand what it is that we're doing or what we're causing, you know. There's some interesting cause and effect in the 5. Definite change with the 5, but the change is not for the better. You know, help is there. but yet it's not. You know, it could be that it's supposed to be, but it's been closed down. The funding isn't there for it, or the choice to be there for others has changed. And no one is there for these people who need help, you know, who need assistance. Perthro, the 14th rune of the Elder Futhark. Again, fate and change. This is one of those directional type of runes. It can be a cauldron. It can be open this way to indicate a birth, so the birth of something new. It could mean a death. It could be pointed down toward earth for grounding, maybe. But right now we're going to look at it this way. So we're going to look at it in terms of the birth of something new. It's going to align with the 6. Now it's interesting because 6 and 5 is 11. And 6 already indicates, you know, higher self-presence. And 5 is change. It's also protection, safety. But something has changed in our lives, in our personal lives. And things are not as secure anymore. We've had to reflect on our circumstances, and we've had to make some decisions. If it has been, if it's the ideology of others, you know, we see the Queen here. Perhaps it's the ideology of authority that has caused the damage here to our structure, to our foundation, to our security, to our home. And now we have to reflect, don't we? And so do the authorities, those in authority. They have to reflect now. If that's you or if it's someone else, if you're feeling the effects of someone else's choices, like many of us are, we have to go within and we have to think about this. You know, what was our perspective originally? What brought us to where we are? Was it something that was imposed upon us, or was it something that we did ourselves? Now, if it's something that's imposed upon us, you just have to try to figure out how you're going to muddle through that, right? And figure out some kind of a workaround. But if it's not, if it's about you creating this for yourself, you have to have a change in thinking. And that's what the 6 of Swords is talking about, a change in thinking, a change in thought patterns, a change in direction. In a sense, you can see all aspects here. You can see all elements. With the boat, you could consider that the structure. You could consider that part of the earth element. You've got water there. You've got air, and you've got fire with the staff there. Wands are often depicted particularly in the Rider-Waite deck here. It's depicted by the staff, so, or a pole of some kind, instead of a wand. But even though, you know, you can look upon Perthro as being the unknown, I mean, fate really is about the unknown, isn't it? But who's going to determine our fate, you know? And are we going to do it out of alignment with, you know, who we actually are as source presence? Let's go ahead and do a geomancy rune. I almost feel like we need a 5th card. Oh Lord, what did we start yesterday? Well, we have an active presence for water, a passive for earth, passive for fire, and passive for air. So what is that? Is that Albus? Oh, it is. Oops. Almost knocked my tea over. So what we have here, I'm just going to use this pen, I guess. Albus, I mean, think Albus Dumbledore and how wise Dumbledore was in Harry Potter. But some of the names, Rubeus, Hagrid, Rubeus is another one. In fact, rubeus is the complement of albus, so it's the opposite in a sense. So rubeus would be considered evil, even though Rubeus Hagrid is not evil, and Dumbledore, or Albus Dumbledore, is considered wise. So you have wise sage energy with Albus, and so again, likely aligning with the Hangman. You could think Odin for that if you want to. A lot of decks will use Odin as the Hangman. They'll depict him that way. And so then the gallows pole would be Yggdrasil, the world tree. You have triple aspects here. You have 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3. And if just try to do that. It's not as easy as it looks. It's not easy at all. Anyway, so you can see with the 12, you can see triple aspects contained within that. So you have 3 threes basically. You can think goddess energy. You can think beginning. You can think the triple aspects: maiden, mother, crone, past, present, future, anything like that. But you can also think mind, body, spirit, and alignment. And you know that it's in spirit because of the glow around his head. And because he's hanging upside down, you see, he's surrendering. He's surrendering to spirit. And that's what we need to do today. In order to resolve, use the wisdom, right, of spirit to resolve the destitution and the new direction that we need to take. All taken due to compassionate authority. So I guess on a personal level, it may be that we're just experiencing some things right now where we need to take a new direction. Our thoughts maybe have taken us to a place of destitution. If this is not something that has been imposed upon us, if this is something that we've likely done to ourselves, most of the time it is, our thoughts take us places. We think that it's external. We think it's caused by something else, because obviously if we're thinking about something, then that something is what's causing us to be upset or happy or whatever it is we're feeling, right? No, it's our thoughts. It's the choice of the thought we have that actually determines our response to that thing that we're thinking about. It isn't the thing that caused it. It's our choice to think the things that we do about it. That's what causes it. So basically, again, understanding that with Albus, taking that time, and sometimes, you don't gain that wisdom until you get, hair like mine. But, that said, this has been this way since my 30s, so I don't know. Anyway, so you can't really see, appearances aren't always what they seem. So anyhow, I think that taking time out to meditate and just seek a still point, even if you don't want to take the time to meditate, but just take a moment and just seek a still point. Draw all your thoughts back to a still point within. And think about the effect you have on other people. And think about, my screen went black. I hope it didn't do that, but it went black. Think about the effect you have on other people. Think about how you express compassion. Do you draw people in or do you repel them? Are you available, emotionally available for people, or are you leaving them to fend for themselves, like we have in the Five of Pentacles? But that's denoting a change where we've gone from the ability to be compassionate to turning a blind eye. You think about the migrants at the border and the separation of the families. Children have not been returned to their parents. So there's a lot of things to, think about here in the way that we have been expressing the compassion for others in our lives of late. So you go within, you align, you decide for yourself, well, geez, maybe it's I'm being a little too harsh in my assessments of things. And so you have a change in direction, you have a change in thinking that maybe, you know, moves you out of the cold harshness of whatever it is you've been experiencing into something better, into some new opportunity for alignment and harmony. You know, you can think of the 6 as Rado. That's the 5th rune of the Elder Futhark. But you're thinking about integrated harmony, integrated movement with others. You know, the family's moving on to something better, away from things that did not serve them. And maybe that's what we need to do now. Now, if this is about what's happening collectively, I don't know what to tell you about that. Unfortunately, the choices that these people make will affect all of us forever. They will impact everything. It will likely impact their careers. Many of them who, if they vote to not impeach this man, to not convict him, because the impeachment's there, that's irrespective. Trust me, there will be more impeachment hearings. He will be impeached further because more and more crimes are going to come out. The House of Representatives will have no choice. So what do they want to do? Do they want to put everybody through this? Or do they want to go within, seek a still point, and understand the bigger picture here? Nobody likes the idea of impeaching a president, but this is not about undoing an election. If that were the case, then Hillary would be taking his place, and that isn't what happened. Or we would be revoting, and that's not what's going to happen. It will likely be Mike Pence who will be the president, unless, you know, well, I mean, it shouldn't be, because he's involved in this up to his eyeballs, right? So at least it appears so from everything that we've seen. More and more is going to come out, and the criminality and corruption will be laid bare for all to see. So have some integrity. Do the right thing. Don't turn a blind eye and leave it to other people. You know, authority and power, it's an incredible thing. And what we do with it matters. So show compassion. Allow for change and a new direction if things aren't going right. And again, see the bigger picture. Understand the emotional aspect of all of this. People's lives are being affected, either your own or someone else that you might have authority over. If this is about getting another job within the company where you're now the supervisor, we talked about that. I want to bring this back to that because it occurs to me it could be that as well. You could be having a profound effect on those in your charge now, to where maybe they feel unheard, maybe they feel a little lost. And you need to go within and you need to do a little self-reflection and see how you're coming across and how you're impacting, how you in that position impacts others, and find a different way to connect and to go forward together in reciprocity and harmony, so that your fate is based on wisdom. So there it is. We did it. And I guess that's it for the week. We will see you on Monday. Come back, click subscribe if you haven't. I'd love you to do that here. Check out the blog over at imsteppingaside.com. There's a newsletter, you know. If you haven't signed up for it, and I know that you haven't because I know how many people have, then please do. There's a link to it underneath the video here. It's just going to take you to the website, and you can look at that and go down to the bottom and put your email in, hit send, and it will go to the place where I do my newsletter. And it has stuff the blog doesn't have. So it's also another way to do my affiliate stuff, but I'm not obnoxious about it, I promise. So anyway, there's also some of that below the video if you want to look at those things. Click on a link, and if you buy something, I earn a commission. So be aware of that. That's what affiliate marketing is. So we're helping them, they're helping us, and basically it's to help defray blog costs, because I do have a little bit. Not a lot, but a little bit. Also, there's a Patreon page that I have. If you want to sign up for a tier, I'd love you to do that. There's a link below the video for that. Let's see what else is under there. I guess that's it. Patreon, the newsletter. I think that's it. Anyway, Stepping Aside has a Facebook page. You can follow that, like that. I'd like you to do that. That'd be cool. There's a couple different Pinterest pages. There's an Instagram. The Instagram, let's see, I think that's a Facebook thing, isn't it? But I think, does it say Mistress Jan on it? I'm not sure. I don't know if I opened it with Twitter. Maybe I did. Oh, maybe I did that. One of the Pinterest pages maybe is that one. I don't know. Anyway, the links are to all of it anyhow, if you want to go follow me over there too. Again, though, Twitter, I'm Mistress Jan on Twitter. You can follow me there. Also on Stellar, there's a link to that. Join that. That's cool. If you're into UFO stuff and alternative thinking like that, that's just a very cool site. Everybody's on that, and I love it. It's just there's just so many fun things to see, and it just makes you think. So check that out as well. So and follow me there. Anyway, I guess that's it. We'll see you on Monday. Be good to yourself. Be good to one another, and blessed be.